What makes a good personal statement?
I
The eternal question.
so many different axes. I think for me, it starts with authenticity. Admissions officers read thousands of these. They can really tell which ones were crafted by a human high school student and which ones were crafted by a not human high school student.
Mom and dad.
Or, exactly. Or crafted by is an interesting way. I think that word is important because they don't expect it to be some extemporaneously brilliantly written essay, and it shouldn't be. It just should be crafted by a high school student, right? So what is the authentic voice of that student? That takes a lot of time to develop. You're going to have to rewrite this thing so many times in order for your voice to come out. But every time you rewrite a sentence, it's going to come out more in your voice. And don't try to put fancy words that you think people want to hear. You don't talk like that. And then the other components of it are, I think, a little more strategic, looking at the application as a whole and seeing, what parts of you aren't we getting out? If I look at this, I look at your activities, I look at your grades, I look at your extracurricular activities, like, what am I not getting about you? What still is missing, or how do we tie these things together? Those are a few of the more important elements for me.
And I think how do you put your experience into context is always, for me, the most important thing. And just telling your story in a way that shows, the challenges that you've had to overcome. And it doesn't always have to be a mountain. And of course, the trauma essay that everybody feels like, oh, we have to have a trauma essay. I don't know your opinions on how you approach these things.
I mean, I think for me, it's the learning and growth. Like, how do you show that you've been in a position where you've grown, you've learned, you've learned a lesson that was really valuable and important for you, and it took you from one place to a next through that maturation process. I mean, what schools want to see, I think that's the other thing that people don't recognize, which is that, like, you're trying to trust that this high school student who has never been outside of their home can come to a new location and be surrounded by kids their own age and still study and thrive and do well. What gives me the confidence that you can do that you have the maturity to do that?
Exactly.
That's a big part of it as well.